my number one goal was, it's been in the news, we have seen it repeatedly, is the opioid epidemic. We have seen a rise in crime. We have seen a rise in domestic violence. We have seen our health care, it's pretty much non-existent. And we've also seen the lack of mental health choices in treatment facilities. So when you look at it across the board, this epidemic affects so many families. When I'm asked, what can I do that's going to make that different? And I refer to fear, and not knowing is the scariest thing in the world. But we've got to, I feel like our county has done a tremendous job in tackling it. Our sheriff has said ground's on the floor, and he has tackled it, and there is a no tolerance. But it just doesn't stop there. And I think that we need to lay some things out on the table and look. We've got to see, we do need to educate our county commissioners. We do need to educate our educators. We need to educate our community because this epidemic is so huge. I do feel like my experience in my life, in my job, will certainly bring something to the table to add there. I have always said this, our children are our future. They are the number one thing. We've got to teach a trade. Every child is not geared for college. And they are doing a program at night where they're doing the metal, the steel working, and they have I've been so impressed. So I went and spent some time with the students to see, what is this program about? And it is certainly a commitment for children because it is taught at night, and it's 3 nights a week. And I was just so impressed because they recognized, these kids had recognized where their strengths were. And we need to keep our kids, we need them, if they choose to go to college, we need them to be able to come back and have jobs that are going to allow them to be sustainable and be productive. We want them to come back. We want our community to stay and grow. And then the third thing that I've always said is industry. Do I think GMC is going to move into Swain County? Absolutely not. It would be fabulous if they did. But they're not. But I believe that if we could if we go outside of the main area in Bryson, if we look in those areas, I think we're going to see that we can target some smaller industries such as ConMet that did employ around 300 people. We need the industries to come in. We've got to sustain our local businesses that have sustained us for so long. I think it's got to be a priority.
Well, right now we have one of the lowest property tax rates around in the state. I think we're maybe fourth or so from the bottom low rates. I'd like to be able to keep it low. I'd like to keep this where it's an affordable place to live. So our rates are low, but our property values go up. So it's one of those things, to me, it's very important to keep this a very affordable and good place to live, and appreciate the beauty of this place and inviting for business and homeowners to come and live here with the low property rates. I would like to make sure that everybody knows that I'm doing this for them, that I'm employed by them to represent them to do that. So I feel like I'm always open to hear their ideas, hear their opinions. I think we can do a little bit. One of my goals, we are working on it, continue to work on it, is our infrastructure, our sewer system, our water system, our Wi-Fi, our internet, our broadband, all our systems, and then we even have some few areas in our county that still aren't covered by cell phones. And so those are big issues. And in this day and time, to not be covered with the cell phone where you live, it's a huge issue. And it's a deterrent to business or people who want to work out of their home or anything. So I want to continue working on those issues. So it's along those lines. And you know, we have been working, we have learned to pinch pennies, is a good way to say it. We have been very frugal with money, and I take that responsibility of using the taxpayers' money. I take that as that's a strong responsibility for me, and I take that with all sincerity and seriousness about the fiduciary responsibility that we are given.
Okay, my top 3 goals are, as I said earlier, the elderly, because we need housing for some of our elderly. There are some that living in places that they don't need to live. They need affordable housing, something that they can relate to as far as if they only draw $300 or $400 a month, then they need to be able to do the housing, their electric bill, and their food, and medicine. Now, medicine is a top priority among our elderly right now. I mean, there's no problem with it on the reservation, but here, we don't have the extra monies for our elderly, so we need that. The second is our children. Our children need substantial housing. They need to be able to, say like if a church van goes through the community, the parents should at least make an effort. If they don't go to church, they should make an effort for the children to be in church and everything. We need to be in contact with other counties. Not just save it all for our county, but be in contact with other counties. And especially on the reservation. I have friends over there. And I see some of the things that they go through, but they are substantiated for it. We're not. And I say that our commissioners need to be in touch with the tribal council to where we can help each other and know what's going on. The third one is taxes. I think that as far as taxes are concerned, after you get 70 years old, I think if you live in Swain County, you shouldn't have to pay automobile taxes and you shouldn't have to pay property taxes.
Well, I think the county needs a long-range plan to establish what their needs are for the next 20 or 30 years, and then to try to set priorities for those needs, and then try to determine how they would fund those priorities. Swain County is a very small county with a $15 million budget. It's going to be very difficult to address all the needs of the county. I think the current county commissioners have done a very good job, but I would like to be able to get in and examine where we are and see if I can help determine where we're going. As far as the goals themselves, I think broadband, internet is paramount. The long-range plan to develop that. I think those are the kind of issues I'd like to look at. I know there's many more issues that we'll talk about later.
I guess you would say my top three goals is, for number one, is community involvement. I see we have a lot of elderly people that need some things to do, some more involvement within projects, and we have also the younger generation that we need to encourage them to get involved in more stuff outside of just the school. But I know the school system brings a lot of great things into our county, but we also need things that maybe events. We recently purchased the event center that's up in the High Creek community, and so there's going to be some things there coming up. That's one of the things I would really like to see take off. Economically wise, I'd love to see ConMet. I know that ConMet is kind of come to a standstill. They may be coming back, part of them, but I would like to see that building actually occupied at a full-time status, bringing people into a place where they can really invest in their retirement and invest in their future through the ConMet. So we need that infrastructure there to bring that into what it should be, and I believe that's going to happen. It's going to happen. I think we have that coming. It's already there. That they're actually coming back, I believe, right now. So making sure that we've got the infrastructure also for IT, internet technologies. This is a great thing within the county, bringing people to where people can actually at their homes get a greater internet, get a better broadband internet, something that they can use and not have to come to the town all the time and utilize someone else's internet, but have that for their personal use. This helps on such a broad scheme of things, because it also helps the elderly that might not be able to go out, and then also helps the youth that might be able to access their homework, their school systems within that internet also. So those are some of the things I think that we need to really focus on. Our future is what